am so excited to be here today, even though I am going to fight with this microphone, so forgive me, but I am so excited to be here to share some very special news. But first, I want to take a moment because there are so many, and I can't recognize all of you, it would be impossible, but there are so many people that have been so crucial to getting us to this point. And so on behalf of this entire community, each one of you that has been involved, whether it's through your donations, through your service on the board, through your leadership, Jim, Kathy, Mayor Dyer, to each one of you, I'm going to start, Mayor Frederick, Mayor Chapin, to each one of you who has played a role in what is already going on behind us. Again, our community owes you a debt of gratitude we can never fill. But we also must take a moment to recognize and celebrate the amazing announcement on Friday from my good friend Jim Henson, $10 million, second contribution. That's not starting. That is so awesome. You, Jim, and the Dr. Phillips Charities have once again stepped up to the plate, now making your second very large contribution. This community has embraced the Performing Arts Center project, and the philanthropic support of this venue has been absolutely amazing and probably the greatest showing of community support for any public facility in the history of Orange County. And as the saying goes, a dream is a wish your heart makes. But it is so gratifying to live in a community that isn't afraid to dream big. And even better, to live in a community with people who have hearts to make those dreams into reality, and people that have the generosity that we have seen here. But let's talk reality, because there are still some things that stand between us and the fulfillment of this dream. Unfortunately, we're still looking at approximately $65 million that is necessary to complete both phases of the Performing Arts Center. Due to the recession, DPAC was forced to phase the center. Phase 1, which is under construction right behind us, will be absolutely spectacular. For those of you who haven't had an opportunity to tour it, I urge you to do so. For those of you who haven't made a contribution, I urge you to do so. It will host a 2,700-foot seat amplified hall, a community theater, an outdoor plaza, rehearsal rooms, and educational programming space. But the one thing it won't host is a 1,700-seat acoustical hall that would become home to our local performers, such as the Orlando Ballet and the Orlando Philharmonic Orchestra. Those are waiting for phase 2. And I can't help but think how sad it will be to celebrate the grand opening and know that we didn't finish the job. And as wonderful as the Bob Car is, and as much as we all cherish it and have fond memories, we also know Mayor Dyer has big plans for Orlando, and our local performers need a home, and they need a home they can be proud of, and a home we can all enjoy. So that's why I'm here today. I'm here to talk to you about what it's going to take to get there. And today I announce my pledge and my commitment to work with my fellow commissioners on the Orange County Commission to move forward a contribution of $25 million towards the Performing Arts Center. Now you don't have to be a math major to know we're still not quite there. But in concert with that effort, I've also committed my staff to work with DPAC to identify potential cost savings to advance phase 2 now rather than later. And I think between those cost savings, between the contribution of the Dr. Phillips Charities, between the confidence that I have that my Board of County Commissioners will support $25 million, and the belief that I have that those of you who have either contributed or are considering contributing will fill whatever is left of that small gap, I believe we can get there. And I believe, to quote what I heard over and over again, do it now, do it right. Well, we're going to do it now with your support. But let me also say that the reasons for doing this, they're not just emotional, they're not just civic pride, they're not just an incredible opportunity for cultural enrichment in our community. They're also the smart and fiscal sound thing to do. Because first and foremost, providing this additional contribution now and closing that gap today will save significant costs that would otherwise accumulate over the delayed period of time. Building the Performing Arts Center in long, drawn-out phases simply escalates the cost. There are no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We will be looking at demobilization costs, remobilization costs, landscaping costs, ripping up the landscaping, trying to operate phase 1 while phase 2 is under construction. It will interrupt the operations, the revenue producing, and it will cost more inflationary. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. We're looking at one of the lowest construction costs we've seen in most of our recent lifetimes. So this is absolutely the time to get it done and to save the most amount of money. And we just need everybody in this community that believes in this to step up one more time. So although these two projects won't get us to the finish line completely, we are so much closer to creating that 1,700-seat multi-form theater, the future home of our Orlando Ballet and our Orlando Philharmonic Orchestra. And finally, I don't want to overlook the lasting and transformative effect that this Performing Arts Center will have on this community. From the start, this venue has been a top priority on the minds and the hearts of our citizens. It has always been number one, and for good reason. We are creating a legacy of creativity, of innovation, of exploration. We are changing who we are by what we believe in and what we invest in. We are creating something for our children and our children's children that will never know what it's like to grow up in a community that doesn't have a world-class performing arts center. They will never know the struggles, Mayor Dyer, that you and I and Jim and Kathy and Linda and Bill, they'll never know what we went through, will they? And that's okay, because they will know the joy and the satisfaction of living in a proud community with arts and culture valued just as much as everything else that we invest in here in Orange County. So now I would like to take a minute to offer an opportunity. I don't know if I have any members of the Board of County Commissioners. I don't see any of them here. So I will urge all of you all to reach out to them. And let me invite Mayor Dyer to the podium to say a few words. And Mayor Dyer, thank you so much for your leadership on this project.
Thank you, Mayor Jacobs, and thank you for that additional gift to the Performing Arts Center that'll help us close the remaining gap. Jim Henson, thank you for your additional gift. We were staring about $75 million in the face, and if I can do my addition, that's close to half of it between those two gifts, so that ought to provide a lot of momentum towards closing the final little piece of this. For more than 20 years, this community has asked for a new performing arts center to enhance our cultural amenities here in our city. And I actually, 10 years ago, campaigned on the notion of a new performing arts center, and the city and our city council has made this a priority. I want to recognize that Commissioner Lynham, who is one of the biggest supporters of this arts center on our commission. Commissioner, why don't you stand up and be recognized? So Jeb Bush used to talk about big old hairy audacious goals, or BHAGs, and those things, when you have BHAGs, they don't come easily. And we've had a few hurdles, we've had a few challenges, we've had a few bumps, and this Performing Arts Center was envisioned to have 3 theaters. We have 2 underway. We had the worst economic crisis in our lifetimes. I don't think there's anybody that was here for the Great Depression, right? No, Mayor Frederick, I know you weren't here during the Great Depression. So, of all of our lifetimes, and DPAC and the city developed a fiscally prudent plan to move the first phase forward without anybody being at risk, except for Mayor Frederick, Jim, and Chris and Chuck Steinmetz. They were, look at Alexis laughing, they're a little bit at risk. But we knew that the TDT was going to recover, but we couldn't count on that. It wasn't a guarantee. So members of the DPAC board stepped up and guaranteed the money, and the TDT has performed in the fashion that we thought it would, and we're going to be able to use $40 million from the TDT on phase 1, and then the remainder of the TDT to fund phase 2. Um, and the thing that we did, even though that TDT will be coming over some period of time and there will be growth, when we jointly announced the amendment to the agreement, to the interlocal agreement, wow, I'm glad it's blowing that way, just in case these things are going to come down. We also amended the agreement between the city and DPAC to guarantee that when the private money was available, that we would ensure that the public money that had been committed, the remaining public money, would be made available through the credit of the city, and we stand behind that. Again, I want to thank Mayor Jacobs for this additional $25 million gift, because I do think it will be a catalyst to get the remainder in. Some of the folks that have been on the fence worrying about whether that $75 million number is really achievable, now I think will think that their contribution can help close that. It's been exciting to watch stage 1 go up, but I've always said once we have that private funding in place, we can break ground on stage 2, and I'm hopeful to do that in the very near future. So this shows what collaboration and partnership can do for our community. I want to thank Orange County and the mayor and the DPAC board for everything they've done to make this day possible. Thank you very much.
I also want to call up, let me just mention before I call 2 other people that I think we need to hear from before we close out. Martha Haney is not here, and she called me right before coming. She was disappointed. A last minute emergency popped up, and she is not here, but she did call to say that she is fully in support. She's very happy we're going forward with this. As all of you all know, Martha, know that she is both a lover of the arts and as fiscally prudent as they come. So I think that that's a great that's a great thing to hear. Now I'd like to call on Linda Chapin, our mayor of Orange County, and Mayor Bill Frederick, to both come up and say a few words. And I want to thank both of you all for staying with the cause and believing to the end.
I think all of you can just imagine how proud it makes me to have Orange County come forward with this significant additional gift. After Jim Henson's big announcement on Friday, to be able to follow it up with this just makes us all know that we're about to go over the top on what's necessary here. You know, a month or 2 ago, Sybil Pritchard and I had the great pleasure of taking Mayor Jacobs and Comptroller Martha Haney up to the very top to be able to look down into what will become the Disney Theater and imagine what we're all going to see a year and a half from now. And it really is remarkable. For any of you who have not had that tour, we need to make that happen, because that's the moment that it will all become so real to you. And you will see what an incredible difference it is going to make to our city, our county, our region, our state, who knows how far beyond, because I think Jim is right. This is going to be the best center anywhere. It's been a pleasure to work with so many longtime friends on this project. Let me ask Bill Frederick to add his piece to it.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor Jacobs, thank you once again for your leadership in bringing this strategically important gift at this time. And without taking a thing away from Jim Henson and Jim and Alexis Pugh and other major donors, the strategic importance of $25 million at this moment is this. We will now be able to guarantee, and Jim, I think you and I and all of the other directors can guarantee, that with this gift, Phase 2, which is our final large theater, will be completed as designed and without interruption. And Buddy, I'm sure you got to be as excited about that as anybody. Certainly without you, we wouldn't even be here today. This this project began in a slightly different way almost 25 years ago, Mayor, when the city of Orlando put this land at the opportunity of a performing arts center. And a lot of us have been chasing this dream for a quarter of a century. And there are lots of people that deserve credit, and certainly I don't mean to suggest anyone or anybody, but now to see this. If this gift hadn't been forthcoming, we would have not completed phase 2. This final theater would not have been completed, very frankly, in my lifetime. And I know a lot of you younger people, that doesn't mean a lot, but for us older folks, that's a big deal. So I'm looking forward to getting it completed. There are a lot of subtleties in performing arts. A lot of people may think that one big theater is enough, but what we know is that unlike the arena, which is great for basketball, it wouldn't be the perfect venue for professional football. And here, this big center that we have simply wouldn't complete the vision that we have. This will do it, and we're so excited. I just want to say we've had great leadership. I look back to when Linda Chapin was mayor, Buddy, Mayor Jacobs. We're fortunate in this community, and today the second big bonus of this is that the people of Orlando know that we have total coordination between the city and the county. That's a big deal, and I just want to say thank you to all of you that have helped to make this possible. It's a pleasure.
And now Kathy Ramsberger, who has provided so much of the blood, sweat, and tears along the way.
Well, you have to really believe that this project is worthwhile because it's been such a journey to get here. And although it has been full of challenges, I think, again, that's why great communities become what they are. It's because we have to fight for the things that we really love. And this project is definitely one of them. And I think it's actually beyond the project. Great cities are built by philanthropy, and this is the project to do that. It would never have happened at all without the leadership of Mayor Dyer and Mayor Jacobs and the mayors prior to the current leadership. There are so many people that have been involved with this, from a $25 donor to a $25, now $35 million donor. And every gift is important because this project is going to become their project. They're going to own it. And it's remarkable to see how this ripple effect is happening. We are touching people all the way out in Volusia County because this is becoming their performing arts center. It's not for anything other than the leadership behind this project, both privately and publicly. I want you to know that these projects have a lot of people behind the scenes. Everybody I see feels that they have a part of this, they own it. The city and the county have both been here constantly trying to work on their project, and I know that Mayor Jacobs appreciates the work of her staff constantly, and I'm working with the city staff. It's all becoming like a family, which is what this Performing Arts Center is intended to do. The team not only that works on this project, the Balfour Vitti team that's leading the construction every single day, is they've fallen in love with this project, and we've got a great success story just in building it. Every construction worker on here feels proud every single day along with our staff. And so we do need your help. We need additional help because we have a little bit more to raise, and we are going to raise it with confidence. And our goal is to start construction in 2014, either before, hopefully, or just concurrently with the opening in 2014 of the first portion of the project. So with that, I just want to thank everyone, and we are welcome to answer questions either up here or one-on-one. Thank you for coming.